Welcome back to Horoscope TV. If you are a Cancer, this episode is just for you. We're looking at the astrological charts for the week of April 27 to May 3, 2026. You will want to tune in today because the planets are shifting in a massive way, bringing huge moments of healing, fierce career ambition, and some deeply passionate romance into your life this week.
It really is just a massive week in the charts. I mean, when we analyze the astro data for Cancer right now, there's this huge overarching theme.
Okay, what kind of theme?
Well, it's this tension, like between seeking comfort in the past and stepping boldly into a very demanding but very rewarding future. We are looking at a really deep emotional pull here.
Wow, okay. A deep emotional pull.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like the tide is just rushing in and, well, it's carrying a tremendous amount of energy with it.
Right, and the tide is rushing in, but I guess the question is always whether we are going to surf it or, just let it pull us under.
Oh, absolutely. That is the exact question.
So, before we get into the daily breakdown of work, money, and love, we probably need to establish the baseline of the current astrological weather, right?
We do, yeah. Because we cannot really understand the week's transits without looking at Jupiter.
Right, Jupiter.
Yes, and right now, Jupiter is sitting comfortably in the sign of Cancer.
Which is huge. I mean, anyone who follows the charts knows Jupiter is the great expander, right?
Exactly. It is.
Like, it brings luck, it brings growth, and it brings hope. But my question is, does having Jupiter in your own sign always mean everything is easy?
That is a really great question.
Because expanding the energy of a Cancer, and that's a sign that already feels everything so deeply well, it seems like it could lead to emotional overwhelm just as easily as it leads to good luck.
That is a very sharp way to look at it, actually.
Ah.
You are totally right that Jupiter operates like a giant magnifying glass.
Okay. A magnifying glass.
Yeah, so whatever it touches just gets bigger. In astrology, having Jupiter in your own sign is generally considered like one of the luckiest transits you can experience.
How are these?
Oh, for sure. It is like having a giant spotlight of hope and growth shining right on you, just warming you up.
That sounds nice.
It is. But because Cancer is a water sign, and, well, water represents emotions, Jupiter is magnifying your feelings.
Ah, so everything is just louder.
Exactly. It sets a very positive, hopeful mood for everything else that happens this week, absolutely. But it also means you cannot numb out.
You have to feel it all.
You really do. Even when we talk about some of the tougher moments or, challenging conversations coming up in a few days, you have to remember that this giant spotlight of hope is shining on you.
Right.
The expansion is happening for your benefit, even if it feels a little intense in the moment.
So it is like having a really good, very sturdy safety net under you while you walk a tightrope.
That is a perfect way to describe it.
Like, you might still wobble, you might still feel the fear of the height, but fundamentally, the universe has your back right now.
Yes. The universe absolutely has your back.
Well, our mission for today's conversation is to help you, the listener, understand exactly how to ride these big emotional waves so you can find success in your love life, your wallet, and your career, all without getting totally stressed out.
Right, because nobody wants to be stressed out.
Exactly. We want to take this astro data and turn it into a practical roadmap.
And that roadmap starts from the inside out, I would say.
The inside out. Okay, how so?
Well, before we can talk about how you deal with the outside world this week, we need to look at what is happening inside your heart and your mind.
Because that drives everything else.
Exactly. The astrological charts show some major internal shifts right out of the gate. I mean, we are looking at a serious emotional spring cleaning.
Oh, I love a good emotional spring cleaning. So let's start with April 28th.
Let's do it.
On that day, the moon moves into Libra. Now, Cancer and Libra, they have a very interesting relationship, don't they?
They really do. It is a fascinating dynamic.
Because they are both what we call cardinal signs, which means they like to start things and take action.
Right, they're the initiators.
But Cancer takes action based on internal feelings, while Libra takes action based on external harmony and social balance.
Yes, exactly.
So when a Cancer experiences a Libra moon, I usually see a massive urge to just fix their immediate environment. Like, you want peace and balance where you live.
Oh, that urge is going to be incredibly strong this week. I mean, Cancer is naturally a homebody.
Gipsker, the crab.
Right, the crab carries its home on its back. So the concept of a safe sanctuary is hardwired into your identity.
Makes total sense.
But when the moon enters Libra, the focus kind of shifts to the aesthetics and the harmony of that space.
Okay, so making it look and feel good.
Yes. You want things to not just feel safe, but to feel calm, beautiful, and settled.
Like what What would that look like?
Well, you might find yourself wanting to, I don't know, arrange the pillows, light some candles, buy some fresh flowers. Just create a quiet, perfectly balanced sanctuary where literally no one is allowed to argue.
Oh, I know that feeling so well. You just want to shut the door, turn off the news, and curate a perfect little
A
bubble.
total bubble, yeah.
But the charts tell us we cannot just stay in the bubble, right?
Unfortunately, no, we cannot.
Because on that exact same day, April 28, Venus forms a trine with Pluto.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And that is a big deal.
So we have the planet of love, values, and connection making a very smooth, supportive angle to the planet of the underworld, deep transformation, and hidden truths.
That is exactly what a trine does. It makes things smooth.
But wait, typically Pluto transits in a Cancer chart can trigger some serious possessiveness, right? Or like a tendency to obsess over hidden fears.
That can definitely happen, yeah. Pluto can be intense.
Because this is a trine, the energy is flowing easily, but how do we keep this from turning into a jealous spiral? I mean, how does this clear the air rather than just muddy the waters?
Okay, so the key here is the actual nature of a trine. Like you said, when these two planets are working together harmoniously, it changes how Pluto acts. Pluto does not act like a wrecking ball here. It acts more like a highly skilled surgeon.
Oh, a surgeon. That is an interesting way to put it.
Right, because Venus rules what we value and who we love.
Right.
And Pluto rules what is buried beneath the surface.
So they team up.
Exactly. This teamwork brings powerful, positive changes to your inner emotional world
How so?
because it gives you the courage to actually look at feelings you usually hide from yourself, and you do it without the usual panic.
Oh, wow. So you can handle the heavy stuff.
Yes, it allows you to process old grief, old resentments, or even hidden desires, and do so with a lot of grace.
Okay, I think I get it. It is like finally dealing with that one room in your house, maybe the attic or the basement, where you just shove all the boxes of old memories you do not want to look at.
Yes, the scary attic room.
Right. And over the years, the air in there gets all stale and heavy. You avoid opening the door because you just know it will be overwhelming.
And you just pretend it is not there.
Exactly. So this Venus and Pluto trine is like waking up on a Tuesday with a sudden burst of calm energy, marching up to the attic, throwing open the windows, and just letting the fresh air in.
I love that visual. That is exactly it.
You are finally sorting through the boxes. And you might cry over a few old photos, but mostly you are just throwing away things you no longer need.
Right, you are purging.
It is a clearing out of old emotional dust.
That is a brilliant way to frame it. You are looking at the dust as it blows out the window, but you are not choking on it.
You can breathe.
Yes, you are recognizing that you are making space for better things. This is a very positive, very necessary transformation.
Like making room for new furniture.
Exactly. You are emptying the cup so that new blessings can be poured in.
Okay, but the very next day, things get incredibly sticky, don't they?
Yeah, they really do.
On April 29, Venus moves into a square with the true node retrograde.
Yes, the square.
And the smooth sailing of the trine basically hits a brick wall because the true node represents our karmic path forward, right? Our destiny, the direction we are supposed to be heading in this lifetime.
That is correct. It is where you are meant to go.
But because it is in retrograde motion, the pull of the past, the south node, becomes incredibly loud. And a square always creates friction and conflict.
It is a total clash.
So we have this tug of war between past memories and future destiny.
This is perhaps the most pivotal moment of the entire week for Cancer.
Really, the most pivotal.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
The astrological charts show a direct clash between your feelings, which is Venus, and your growth, which is the true node.
Okay.
You just spent April 28 clearing out the attic, feeling light and refreshed, like we talked about.
Right. Throwing open the windows.
And then April 29 hits, and suddenly you are second-guessing literally everything.
Wait, so is this the classic scenario where you are finally feeling good, finally moving on, and suddenly you get a text from a toxic ex?
Oh, that is such a common manifestation of this transit.
Or you suddenly start ruminating on a mistake you made, like 5 years ago.
Exactly.
It always feels like a test. Why does the universe do that? You finally feel free, and then your brain says, hey, remember how safe and comfortable it was when we were miserable, but at least we knew what to expect?
It is absolutely a test. And, well, it happens because human biology and psychology are hardwired to prefer the familiar.
Even if the familiar is terrible.
Right. Growth is inherently dangerous to the primitive brain because it involves the unknown. Even if your past was painful, unhealthy, or completely chaotic, your brain knows how to survive it.
Because you already survived it.
Exactly. It is known territory. Your future destiny, represented by the true node, is unknown territory. So when Venus clashes with this node, your heart panics.
Oh, wow. It panics.
It tries to drag you back to what it knows. The text from an ex, the sudden wave of nostalgia for a job you hated, the urge to return to a bad habit, these are all symptoms of your emotional self trying to hit the brakes on your evolution.
Wow. Okay, so if a Cancer listener is feeling this sudden, desperate pull backward on April 29, what is the practical strategy?
Well, you have to be conscious of it.
Because simply ignoring a feeling usually just makes it louder, right? Especially for a water sign. You can't just tell a Cancer to not feel something.
No, you cannot ignore it, and you really should not try to suppress it either. The strategy is to acknowledge the feeling without letting it sit in the driver's seat.
Okay, so you see it, but you don't let it drive.
Exactly. You have to observe the memory or the fear and literally say to yourself, I see you, I remember that time, but we do not live there anymore.
I love that. We do not live there anymore.
You must resist the urge to look backward for solutions. Do not reply to the text. Do not fall back into the old financial habit.
Just hold the line.
Right. Remember that giant Jupiter spotlight of hope we talked about earlier?
The magnifying glass?
Yes. The universe is expanding your life right now. Do not let a fleeting moment of fear on April 29 derail the massive progress you are making.
That is a profound piece of advice. Acknowledge the ghost, but do not invite it in for dinner.
Perfectly said.
Since we are already diving deep into these feelings and looking at how Venus is pulling the strings, let's shift gears a bit.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about how this specifically affects matters of the heart. The astro charts show that romance and relationships are a major, major focus this week, aren't they?
They really are. And the romantic highs we are seeing in the charts are incredibly potent.
Potent is a good word for it.
If we look back at that April 28 Venus-Pluto teamwork, it is not just about clearing out your own internal emotional dust.
Right, the attic cleaning.
Yeah, it is more than that. It also brings hidden romantic feelings right to the surface. Pluto does not just destroy, it reveals.
No, it uncovers things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have been hiding how much you care about someone, or if you have been holding back your true desires in a current relationship, this energy pushes you to lay it all out on the table.
Just put it all out there.
Yes, it creates the conditions for profound, deeply honest intimacy.
Which, let's be honest, is terrifying for a Cancer.
Oh, absolutely terrifying.
The crab has a shell for a reason. Being totally vulnerable, saying I love you first, or admitting what you really need in the bedroom or in your daily life requires stepping way outside of that shell.
It requires a lot of bravery.
But I suppose that ties directly back to the tug of war from April 29, right?
It does. How so?
Well, if you want this profound intimacy, you have to let go of your old relationship fears. You cannot hold on to the fear of getting betrayed again and also experience deep, trusting love at the same time. You have to drop the old baggage to pick up the new relationship.
That is the exact mechanism at play here. The universe is basically offering you a trade.
A trade.
Yeah. If you trade in your old fears, you get access to this Pluto-powered intimacy.
Wow.
And if you can manage to make that trade, the reward arrives almost immediately. The romantic energy peaks massively on May 1st.
May once. Okay, let's talk about May orange because that gives us a full moon in Scorpio.
Yes, it does.
And full moons are always the culmination of a cycle, right? They bring things to a head, they illuminate what was hidden in the dark, and they bring these really high emotional tides.
Very high tide.
Plus, Scorpio is a water sign, just like Cancer. So while this energy is intensely dramatic and deeply passionate, it should actually feel somewhat native to our listeners, right? It is not an alien energy.
No, it is very comfortable energy for a Cancer, but do not mistake comfortable for mild.
Okay, good point. Mild it is not.
Not at all. Scorpio energy is profound. It is the deep ocean. It is not, light, fluffy, rom-com romance.
Well, meet cutes in the coffee shop.
Right. It is soul-level connection, raw truth, and intense bonding. During a full moon in Scorpio, you are not interested in casual dating or surface-level chats about the weather.
You want the real stuff.
Exactly. You want to know a partner's deepest secrets, their fears, their unvarnished truth, and importantly, you want to share yours too.
And what I find so beautiful about the astro charts for May 1st is that this intense, swirling, overwhelming, watery energy is given a solid container.
Yes, the container is crucial.
Because on this exact same day, Venus forms a sextile with Saturn.
Right.
Now, a sextile is a highly cooperative, productive angle. And Saturn is the planet of rules, structure, commitment, and time,
the taskmaster.
Exactly. So we have the wild passion of the Scorpio full moon being anchored by the commitment and maturity of Saturn.
And that combination is what turns a passionate weekend into a lasting marriage.
No.
Really, yes.
Yeah.
Saturn acts as the concrete foundation. When Venus and Saturn work together, the love you are feeling isn't just a quick spark that burns out when the real world intrudes.
It doesn't fade by Monday morning.
Right. It is steady, it is reliable, it is the kind of bond that can withstand stress, financial pressure, and just the test of time.
It is the difference between someone writing you a beautiful poem and someone actually showing up to help you paint your house and pay your bills.
Exactly.
Saturn brings the practical proof of love.
It really does.
And speaking of the people we are loving, let's look at the best and worst matches for Cancer this week, because the charts are painting a very clear picture of who you should be spending your time with.
Very clear. If you're looking for that deep connection we just talked about, Scorpio is absolutely your best match this week.
And that makes perfect sense given the full moon in Scorpio on May 1, but the connection actually starts building before that, doesn't it? The moon enters Scorpio on April 30.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
The day before the full moon peaks, the moon moves into Scorpio, creating an instant, undeniable magnetic pull between Cancer and Scorpio.
It's like a tractor beam.
Exactly. Your deep, watery feelings match theirs perfectly. Water signs communicate in a language that does not always require words.
Oh, I've seen that.
Right. They operate on intuition, body language, and shared emotional undercurrents.
It is the absolute best feeling when you do not have to translate yourself for someone else.
It's a relief.
Totally. You do not have to explain why you are sad or why you need quiet time. You just sit on the couch, give them a look, and they know exactly what you are feeling.
No words needed.
By the time that May 1st full moon hits, the shared emotional intensity between a Cancer and a Scorpio is just off the charts. You can talk to a Scorpio about your darkest fears or your wildest dreams without an ounce of fear of judgment.
And that shared vulnerability leads to incredible personal healing for both people involved. You become a safe harbor for each other.
A safe harbor.
Yeah. Furthermore, when Mercury moves into the practical sign of Taurus a couple days later on May 3, it grounds that intense emotional bond into a very comforting, secure daily reality.
That sounds wonderful.
It is. You will feel safe, understood, and deeply loved around a Scorpio right now.
Okay, so we know who we are inviting over for dinner, but who should we leave off the guest list?
Well,
Who is going to mess up this peaceful, profound vibe we are trying to cultivate?
the astro charts point very clearly to Libra as your worst match this week.
Now, wait a minute. We just talked about how the week starts on April 28 with the moon in Libra, and how that gives Cancer a deep desire for a peaceful, balanced home environment.
Right, rearranging the pillows.
Exactly. If the moon is in Libra, why is an actual Libra person a bad match right now? That feels contradictory.
I get why it seems that way, but it comes down to a fundamental difference in how you both process reality during this specific week.
Okay, break that down for me.
You, as a Cancer, are being pushed by Pluto and the Scorpio full moon to dive into the absolute deepest end of the emotional pool.
The deep end.
Right. You crave raw, unfiltered emotional truth. You want to bond over shared vulnerabilities.
And Libra.
Well, Libra, as an air sign, processes the world through intellect and social harmony. Libra wants to keep things light, pleasant, superficial, and highly social.
So you are sitting on the couch trying to have a deeply profound heart-to-heart about your childhood trauma and how it affects your current relationships, and the Libra is looking at their phone asking what kind of artisanal cheese they should buy for a dinner party on Friday.
That is precisely the dynamic.
Wow. Talk about a disconnect.
It is. Libra avoids heavy, dark emotional conflict because it disrupts their sense of balance.
Right. They want peace.
Yeah. So when you are seeking raw truth during the May 1st full moon, a Libra partner or friend will likely deflect, change the subject, or just minimize your feelings to keep the peace.
Because they don't want to go there.
Exactly. They do not want to go into the dark places with you. And then by May 3, when you just want to be cozy, grounded, and safe at home, the charts show Libra wants to be out mingling at parties with a large circle of acquaintances.
That sounds absolutely exhausting for both people. It is a frustrating clash of fundamental needs.
Extremely frustrating.
The Cancer ends up feeling ignored, rejected, and smothered by the social demands, while the Libra ends up feeling trapped and dragged down by the heavy emotional expectations.
Yep. Nobody wins.
It is probably best to just give each other some space this week and stick with people who understand your need for depth.
I agree completely. It is not that Libras are bad people. It is just a highly turbulent astrological period for that specific pairing. Protect your peace.
Protect your peace. Okay, so we have our peaceful home, we have our deep romantic connections, and we know who to avoid.
We have the social map,
We do, but eventually we have to leave the house and go to work.
unfortunately.
So let's look at the career sector, because the astro charts show a surprisingly fierce energy for Cancer this week. You are not backing down from anything.
Not at all. Your career sector is heavily activated, and it starts right away on April 28 when Mars forms a trine with Lilith.
Okay, let's break this down because this is a fascinating combination.
It is very powerful.
Mars is the planet of action, drive, ambition, and warfare. It is how we assert ourselves.
The warrior planet.
Great. And Lilith, in astrological charts, represents the raw, untamed, rebellious female archetype. It is the part of the human psyche that refuses to submit, refuses to be quiet, and demands absolute autonomy.
Yes. The rebel.
So when Mars and Lilith form a supportive trine, what does that actually look like in a corporate office or a small business setting? Because it sounds a little dangerous. Are we risking burning bridges here?
It could be dangerous if it were a square, but because it is a trine, this raw, rebellious energy flows smoothly into your professional drive.
Smoothly, okay.
It gives you a powerful burst of fierce ambition to chase your biggest career goals. You are not going to be passive-aggressive, which is sometimes a trap for water signs.
Very true.
You are going to be direct, confident, and utterly unafraid of authority. If there is a project you have been scared to pitch, or a leadership role you want to step into, this is the day you feel brave enough to claim it.
You just go for it.
You will not accept being overlooked or undervalued.
It is like you are putting on a perfectly tailored suit of armor before you walk into the office.
The suit of armor. I like that.
You are ready to conquer, but you are doing it with strategy. You are not throwing a tantrum. You are simply stating your worth and refusing to back down.
Yep.
But what I find so interesting is the timing. This fierce fighting energy happens on the exact same day, April 28th, that the moon is in Libra, which we said makes you want a quiet, peaceful home.
Right, the pillows and candles.
Yeah. So how do we reconcile being a fierce warrior at the office and a soft homebody at night?
Well, the moon in Libra is actually your saving grace here.
Really? How?
Libra represents the scales of justice and balance. It helps you compartmentalize.
Oh, that makes sense.
It allows you to create a beautiful, necessary boundary between these heavy, ambitious work duties and your private family life.
So you don't take work home with you?
Exactly.
Huh.
You push hard, you fight the battles, you advocate for yourself at work, and then the Libra moon allows you to leave the armor at the door when you come home. You do not bring the office warfare into your living room.
That is a phenomenal skill to develop, honestly. And it looks like pushing hard at work really pays off by May 1.
It certainly does. The full moon in Scorpio shines a massive light on your creative and professional sectors.
The spotlight is back.
Yes. The charts indicate that a highly creative project or a long-term goal finally reaches a successful end. This is a milestone moment. All that hard work and fierce advocacy culminates in a tangible success.
But May 1 also brings a transit that looks a little tricky. Mercury meets Chiron in your career sector.
Yes.
They're in conjunction, occupying the exact same space in the sky. Mercury is the planet of communication, talking, and writing.
Right.
And Chiron is known as the wounded healer. It represents our deepest insecurities, our old wounds, but also the place where we have the greatest capacity to heal ourselves and others.
Yes.
So having Mercury conjunct Chiron in the career zone points to a difficult conversation, perhaps a tough talk with a boss or business partner.
It definitely points to that.
Why does this have to happen right when we are celebrating a milestone? Like, a difficult conversation with the boss sounds bad. Should we be worried?
I understand why the idea of a tough conversation right at the peak of success sounds alarming. It really does.
Yeah.
But to understand this, you have to look at how Chiron works. A wound cannot heal if it is covered up and ignored.
Right. It just gets infected.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So when Mercury meets Chiron in the area of your chart that rules your public image, your authority, and your career path, it forces you to verbalize an insecurity or a festering issue.
Like finally speaking up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to finally address feeling chronically undervalued. Maybe there's a miscommunication with a manager that has been causing you quiet anxiety for months.
So it is like finally cleaning out a deep cut so it can actually heal properly.
Yes.
It absolutely stings in the moment. The alcohol burns. But if you do not do it, the infection just spreads and gets worse.
That is the perfect analogy.
The conversation might be awkward, your voice might shake, but the astro charts show that this will lead to profound healing. It fixes old wounds related to how you are seen in the professional world.
That is exactly right. It is a necessary clearing of the air. You will feel a massive weight lifted off your shoulders after you do it.
Relief.
Total relief.
Yeah.
And you only have to push through that awkwardness for a couple of days, because by May 3, the professional communication shifts dramatically when Mercury enters Taurus.
Okay, so Mercury moves into Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. It is slow, methodical, highly practical, and focused on tangible results.
Right. So instead of having deep emotional talks or tough, vulnerable healing conversations, Mercury in Taurus just wants to focus on what works.
The logistics?
Yeah. How do we build this system? How do we make this workflow more efficient? What is the return on investment?
Mercury brass tacks.
The charts indicate that networking becomes incredibly easy and productive. You will find yourself sharing very practical, grounded ideas with large groups.
Oh, nice.
It is an excellent time to speak up in meetings or connect with professional organizations, because people will instantly see the real material value in what you are saying. You are building a strong, reliable, professional community.
Which naturally brings us to the next massive area of life. I mean, all this ambition, this fierce advocacy, and this practical networking at work has to translate into material gain, right?
You would hope so.
So what does this mean for the wallet? Financial growth is a major theme this week.
It is a huge theme. And your financial picture is heavily linked to the internal work we discussed earlier.
Oh, really?
Yes. Let's look back at April 28th again, when Venus forms that beautiful trine with Pluto.
Ah, the fresh air in the stuffy attic.
Yes, that one. Venus rules love, but it also rules money, resources, and what we value materially.
True, true.
And Pluto rules deep, hidden things, but it also rules massive wealth, shared resources, and investments.
So they team up for money, too.
Exactly. Just as this transit brought hidden emotional feelings to the surface, it also brings hidden financial blessings into the light.
Hidden financial blessings. Okay, when you say hidden financial blessings, what are we talking about?
Right.
Are we finding a forgotten $20 bill in an old winter coat, or is it bigger than that?
It is much bigger than a $20 bill. Pluto deals with structural, lasting wealth. This transit helps you uncover new ways to build real financial security.
Like what?
It might be discovering a latent talent you have that you can suddenly monetize.
Yeah.
It could be realizing that an old investment is performing much better than you thought.
Oh, that's always nice.
Or, very practically, it could be finding a way to reorganize your debts or your budget that suddenly frees up a significant amount of cash flow each month.
Oh, just tweaking the budget.
Right. It is a highly powerful time for recognizing the resources you already have and maximizing them.
That sounds incredibly empowering. But we have to address the elephant in the room.
Which one?
April 29. Venus clashing with the true node. The tug of war between the past and the future.
Oh, right. That one.
We talked about how this brings up old toxic exes and emotional fears. How does this clash affect our money?
Well, in the financial sector, this transit means you must be hyper-vigilant about avoiding sudden decisions based entirely on fear or past money mistakes.
Give me an example of how that plays out. Like, let's say a listener went broke 5 years ago trying to start a small business.
Okay, fairly common.
Right. It was a traumatic financial failure. Now they have a solid job, a bit of savings, and they're presented with a new, much safer opportunity to invest in themselves or a side hustle.
Okay, so in that scenario, on April 29th, the fear from 5 years ago will rush back in.
It just floods back.
Yeah. The past will whisper loudly to you that you are going to go broke again, that you are bad with money, that it is safer to just do nothing.
The scarcity mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your brain tries to drag you backward into a scarcity mindset. But the astrocharts show powerful wealth-building energy surrounding you right now.
You just have to trust it.
You do. The universe is offering you a chance to expand your financial footprint. You have to trust the growth, not the fear. You have to look at the numbers logically and realize you are not the same person you were 5 years ago.
That is so much easier said than done, though, especially when life throws a curveball.
Oh, for sure.
And the charts show a curveball coming on May 1. During that intense full moon in Scorpio, there is a strong indication of a surprising expense.
Yes, unfortunately. Full moons bring things to a head, and sometimes that manifests as a sudden need for cash. The chart suggests this surprise cost will likely be related to a personal hobby, a passion project, or a child.
Okay, so your kid suddenly needs braces, or the engine blows on the vintage car you are restoring.
Right, something out of the blue.
If we get hit with a surprise bill right when we are trying to overcome our financial fears, Doesn't that just prove the fear from April 29 was right?
It feels that way, yeah.
Like, doesn't it ruin the wealth building?
Not at all. And this is where looking at the entire astrological chart is so important.
Okay, what am I missing?
If we look at the transits for that exact same day, May 1, we see Venus working beautifully with Saturn.
Oh, right. The anchor.
Remember how we talked about them creating a steady, concrete foundation for romantic love?
Yes, the lasting marriage vibe.
Well, they do the exact same thing for your money.
Because Saturn is the builder, the planner, the restrictor.
Exactly. This combination gives you incredibly steady energy for a strict savings plan. It means that while the surprise expense might be annoying, you will actually have the resources to handle it easily.
Oh, that's a relief.
You will not be derailed. The structure is there to support you. You can take the hit, adjust the budget with Saturn's discipline, and keep moving forward.
I see. It is the equivalent of getting a flat tire on the highway, but you already have a brand new spare in the trunk and money set aside in an emergency fund.
Yes, perfect.
It is a hassle, it slows you down for an hour, but it is not a disaster. It does not ruin the road trip.
That is the perfect analogy. And the financial picture gets even clearer and more stable just 2 days later.
On May 3.
Right. On May 3, Mercury enters Taurus.
We talked about this making networking practical. How does it shift our view on money?
Your entire financial mindset becomes highly grounded. Taurus does not like to gamble.
No risks.
Taurus is not interested in high-risk crypto trading or get-rich-quick schemes. Taurus likes to plant a seed in good soil, water it daily, and watch it grow into a massive tree over time.
Very patient.
Very. You will find yourself naturally focusing on long-term security. You will be thinking about retirement accounts, solid investments, and making sure your money is safe and growing slowly and steadily.
Just building the nest egg.
Yes. It is an excellent time to sit down with a financial planner or just review your long-term goals.
Okay, we have covered your internal emotional landscape, your profound romantic connections, your fierce career battles, and your financial planning.
We have covered a lot of ground.
We really have. But managing all of this intense energy processing, old trauma, navigating a Scorpio full moon, having a tough conversation with the boss, takes a massive toll on the physical body.
It absolutely does.
We cannot ignore the physical vessel. Let's look at what the astro charts say about your health, your wellness, and a little bit of luck to carry you through the week.
Well, emotional wellness is deeply, inextricably tied to physical wellness this week.
I feel like that's always true, but especially now.
For Cancer, you truly cannot separate the two right now.
Let's go back to April 28 one more time. The Venus and Pluto trine, where we are clearing out the emotional attic and releasing deep trauma.
Right.
The charts suggest this will actually transform your physical health.
It will. This brings up a vital point about how human beings hold stress. Your mind and body are profoundly connected, especially under water sign transits.
Okay, how does that work physically?
When you hold on to old pain, resentment, or trauma, your body physically tenses up to protect you. Over the years, that manifests as chronic issues.
Like physical pain?
Yes. You get tension headaches, your stomach is constantly in knots, your digestion suffers, your shoulders ache from carrying the invisible weight.
So when Venus and Pluto give you the astrological support to actually process and release that emotional dust, your nervous system finally gets the signal that it is safe to relax.
Yes, exactly. Releasing the emotional weight literally takes a physical weight off your body. You might find that chronic aches you have had for months just start to magically disappear as you cry, journal, or talk through your feelings. Your body is thanking you for letting go of the stress.
That is incredible. But even with that physical relief early in the week, we still have to brace for the May 1st full moon, right?
We do. We can't forget that.
Because the charts warn that the full moon in Scorpio is going to be highly intense, and it might leave you feeling completely physically drained.
Scorpio energy is incredibly deep, demanding, and investigative. Full moon energy is loud and illuminating.
A heavy combo.
Yeah, when you put them together, it requires a lot of biological energy to process everything you are feeling and experiencing.
It feels like your emotional battery is running on 1% and the low battery light is flashing red.
Exactly.
You absolutely have to plug in and recharge or you will shut down. What is the practical astro advice for surviving this physical drain?
The advice is very straightforward, but you have to actually do it.
Okay, lay it on me.
First, drink plenty of water. You are dealing with massive water sign energy, Cancer Sun, Scorpio moon, and your physical body needs intense hydration to process these emotional currents.
Hydrate. Check.
Second, you must get extra sleep. This is not the weekend to push yourself to stay up late.
Especially not going out with a Libra who wants to drag you to a loud, crowded party until 2 in the morning.
Exactly.
That
You must protect your energy fiercely, say no to social obligations, go to bed early.
rest up.
And remember that Mercury meets Chiron on this day too, which we said brings up a wound.
Right, the wounded healer. We applied that to a tough talk at work, but what does it mean for physical health?
Well, it offers a phenomenal window of opportunity to heal stress-related physical symptoms through holistic therapies.
Oh, holistic therapies.
Yeah. If you have been dealing with chronic stress, May 1 is the perfect day to treat the root cause, not just the symptom.
Like what kind of treatments?
Book a deep tissue massage, try acupuncture, schedule a Reiki session, or even just commit to a long guided meditation at home. Focus on therapies that integrate the mind and the body.
And then, thankfully, on May 3, the universe sends us some physical backup. Mercury enters Taurus, bringing that slow, steady Earth energy.
Thank goodness for Taurus. When Mercury enters Taurus, the absolute best thing you can do for your physical body is to go outside.
Oh, I love that. The charts suggest finding grounding in nature, right? Spending quiet time outdoors, surrounded by trees, connecting with the solid energy of the earth to find deep physical comfort.
Yes. Taurus rules the earth, nature, and the 5 physical senses. After a week of intense, swirling, overwhelming watery emotion from Cancer, Scorpio, Pluto, and the moon, your physical body is desperate for solid ground.
You just need to be anchored.
You need to feel gravity. Just going for a slow walk without your phone, feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, listening to the birds, or sitting quietly under a tree will do absolute wonders for resetting your nervous system.
Just unplugging.
It pulls you out of the emotional depths and brings you back into the present physical moment.
I can literally feel my shoulders dropping and my breathing slowing down just thinking about sitting under a tree. It is the perfect antidote to a wild week.
It really is.
All right, before we wrap up this deep analysis, I want to rapidly share some fun facts and lucky elements from the astro charts to keep in your back pocket as you navigate the days ahead.
These are always helpful tools to keep in mind, little touchstones to focus your intention.
Okay, here we go. Your lucky numbers this week are 2, 9, 18, 24, 36, and 48.
Nice spread.
Right. And if you are picking dates for something important, maybe scheduling that tough conversation with the boss or planning a deeply romantic date night, the best days are April 30 and May 1.
That lines right up with the Scorpio moon energy.
Exactly. And the color of the week to wear or focus on is silver.
Silver. Silver is an incredibly potent color for Cancer.
Why is that?
Well, it is perfectly aligned with the moon, which is your ruling planet. Silver reflects light. It represents intuition, emotional clarity, and feminine power.
I love that. So put on some silver jewelry, trust your gut intuition, drink a ton of water, and do not text your ex.
That is a perfect summary of the week's advice right there.
So as we look at the totality of these charts, what does this all mean for our listeners as they step into the week?
I will leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over.
Okay, let's hear it.
We have talked extensively about the intense, watery, emotional energy flowing through your life this week. The clearing of the attic, the romantic passion, the past memories, the deep healing.
That's a lot of water.
It is. Water is powerful, but without boundaries, it just spills everywhere and creates a flood.
Sure.
So how could you use that practical, earthy Taurus energy arriving on May 3 to build a strong, reliable container for those feelings?
A container.
Think about what makes you feel physically safe, practically secure, and financially grounded, and start building that container. Because when your emotions have a safe place to rest, they become a source of profound power rather than a source of chaos.
That is a brilliant and challenging way to look at it. Build the container so you can safely hold the ocean. Thank you for listening to this episode on Horoscope TV. If you found this helpful, please suggest to your friends that they subscribe so that you can all get notified when the next episode is available. Take care, Cancer.